Hello and welcome everybody to the show. It is hard to believe that it's still only January when it feels like the new year and Christmas has been such a long time ago. We've already experienced so many energies. We've already released so much. So many things have happened on all the different levels already. So someone mentioned the other day, it feels like March, but for me, it feels almost like June, July. And we have a beautiful rainy weather outside. Australia is experiencing a bit of a heat wave, as has been the case in the last couple of years. The unprecedented temperatures are all over the country, but we're lucky because we are in the monsoon season. So we've had some beautiful rain in the last few days, and that means that our little corner of the continent is nice and cool. So I would like to make an announcement next week. There will be a course, Cruising the New. Now this course was scheduled already for December, but then I had a contact from somebody and they wanted a private little course, 1 hour course for them, for a group of them, and it went really well. It was all about mastering our emotions, from processing to mastering. Basically, that would be the subtitle. And so welcome to join. The cost will be $35 for about an hour. We will go a bit over if there will be questions. It depends what will happen on the day. And so we'll be next weekend at the same time, at the same place. So if you feel drawn to it, so please register. I will publish more information on the Facebook as well. What's been happening around the world and around the country does touch us deeply, all of us. And sometimes it can feel overwhelming. So it is very, very important that we do look after ourselves, because some of the energies are so intense, energies that are releasing, and energies of mass consciousness that, humanity is feeling, can be so intense for us now that we are so open, and our hearts are so open, and our hearts are so willing to feel everything and to experience everything, and to also have compassion for everything and everybody. So it is very important that we look after ourselves. Of course, drink a lot of water, and if you have a chance, do take those beautiful long walks into nature, or just find a quiet spot. If you have a bath, take baths. Just mainly remember to love yourself and remember to look after yourself. And this, basically, it does seem like we keep repeating this over and over and over, but the only thing that really will help you through all of this is the self-love. It is a remedy for everything. It is a start for everything. It's opening you up as you start feeling the self-love for yourself in whatever capacity you are able to do that, in any situation, in everyday life, whatever happens, whatever emotions come up, whatever feelings you're experiencing, whatever situations you are, to remember to feel the self-love, and not just think about it, but actually stop, take a deep breath and feel it, because that actually starts the process of when you open the door to your higher self, eternal self, soul self, master self, whatever name you use, but it opens the door for that part of yourself to be able to enter you, to be able to enter your world, and to start creating with you, alongside of you, and start resolving that situation. And straight away you will start feeling the peace. You will start feeling all of the potentials, where before, when you were in your mind, you actually you could, it felt like, it may have felt hopeless, or it may have felt like there aren't any solutions. But as soon as you open the door with self-love, more love will flood in, and all of the potentials that you can possibly imagine will flood in. But the main trick with all of this is to remember to stop, to take that deep breath, and to feel the love, and to feel the love of your soul self, to feel the love for you, to feel the excitement for life, to feel the love for all of the creation that only your soul self or master self can bring to you, the human self. Now today, here we are, Michael, here we are, Michaela. We do not normally introduce ourselves. We just dance with our human self, where at times we step forward and at times we step back, depending on the situation. And so the dance, all day we dance with our human self, where depending on the situation, sometimes Alex is at the forefront, sometimes we are at the forefront, and the change happens seamlessly without any without any deep breathing even. Initially, it took a lot of breathing, as you can imagine, but now it is just a seamless dance where we live through the day, where we go through the day, where we experience through the day together, and we dance and we laugh and we play and we experience this beautiful world of yours that we have created together. And we are creating so many different potentials. And you may have actually felt recently there are at the deep level more and more separations as well, because as every human being has free will, as every human being has the choice to decide where and what they're going to do, there are separations happening because all the different layers that used to be together are separating. And this is to allow the creation to unfold, to allow all the different people, all the different beings to experience what they are choosing to experience. Now, there may be also some grief with that. So if you're feeling it, just look after yourself, take deep breaths, and just allow all the new worlds to emerge, allow the new worlds to come through you. Feel the opening up, how your heart is opening up to all of the different realities that you are now truly creating, that you are now truly bringing forth, that we together are creating these new worlds for you to experience, for you to imagine, for you to play in, for you to live in. And it is the worlds that you at the moment cannot, as a human being, you at the moment cannot even imagine. All of the different depths, the colors, the smells, the scents, the experiences that you have never experienced, that you have never even touched upon, that are actually just right at the door coming through. And that's all because you have been so brave, because you have been so courageous, because you have been so determined to not allow anything to stop you, to not allow any fear to stop you. You have breathed through everything that has come up, and we have watched you, and we have been with you, and we have loved you. Through, whether you have felt it or not, through all of the different experiences. We have felt every tear that you have shed. We have felt every doubt that you have had. And we have stroked you during those times, and we have hugged you during those times. And we do realize that at times you have not been able to feel us, because there was so much cleansing that needed to be done. And it is all thanks to you that these new worlds are able to now emerge, that these new worlds are able to now be birthed into your reality so that you can experience them. There are a large number of humanity that are actually choosing a different path. But because these worlds that you are creating, and that you will create, and that we are creating together, are here, are available, all it takes is a choice. And every human being, every being will then start their journey into this kind of worlds. So no doors are closing, There is separation happening, but no doors are closing at any point in time. Every person can actually make a different choice, just like you. And in every second of the day, you have the opportunity to choose something different. So here we started with a strong introduction, but the times are quite intense, and they will continue to be intense as the world is going through the changes. As the earth is going through the changes, there will be more cleansing, there will be more shifting, and there will be more excitement, because this year, 2018, is the year where you will finally feel and experience the tangible results, the physical results of all the work that you have done. You are able now to manifest your dreams, your desires. You are able now to start to manifest your freedom. And this is the freedom that is a real freedom. It's a physical freedom. It is not a freedom that only happens in your imagination. It's not the freedom that happens only in the etheric worlds. It is the freedom that you can manifest in every day, in every hour. But it demands of you the presence. It demands of you that you keep reminding yourself. It demands of you that you keep bringing yourself back to here, back to now, because when the etheric and the physical worlds come together, they come together in the now moment. And it is even more important, actually, it is imperative that you continually remind yourself of this, that you continually remind yourself to be here, to be present, because in the now moment, when your master self and your human self dance together, where they hold their hands together, where they do their thing, so to speak, there is no fear in that moment. So whenever you feel fear, whenever you feel the fear of humanity, whenever it touches upon you, remember to come to the now moment. Remember to feel your master self, your eternal self, and that will actually give you the ability to let the fear go. Because fear, my dear ones, fear uh, will continue to be very present in this reality, because humanity is not willing to let go of it. The mind is using the fear to keep humanity, majority of humanity, in prison. Because when you are dancing with your eternal self, you will realize what a prison the way you the way of the mind is, what a prison, what a small cell being in the mind, living in the mind actually is. Because as you dance with your master self, all of these other worlds open up to you. They are available to you. They're available to feel. They're available to be experienced. And now they are available to come and manifest in your physical world, in your physical reality. So how do we do this? How do we manifest this freedom? Because we do feel your frustration with this, and we do feel your we do feel that you have wanted this for so long, and we do feel that you at times sort of feel doubtful that this will ever happen, because so far, at times it felt like your world was actually getting smaller, not bigger, as you were integrating, as you were releasing. But it was necessary to go through this. As you know, it was necessary to cleanse your body. It was necessary to make space. It was necessary to give yourself the ability to be clean, to be clear, to be pure, to feel that purity through which you can actually bring those beautiful worlds into this physical reality. And now, dear ones, is the time for this. Now, dear ones, we are ready. So as you go throughout your day, remember the freedom, remember to feel, remember to open up to your master self. And those feelings is what actually brings and creates your reality. It's those feelings where your human self and your master self dance together, is where you create the new dimensions, the dimensions of freedom, the dimensions of instant manifestation, the dimensions where your wildest dreams can come true, the dimensions where you feel and you experience things that you have never felt, that you have never experienced before. And these worlds that you are creating now are actually very well and in the making. So do not lose heart as you go throughout the day, and do not lose heart as you feel the mass consciousness, even though sometimes it can feel like, you know, it is overwhelming, but that is only because you are clean, you are clear, you feel, you experience, your heart is open. And it is so beautiful to see. And we have tears in our eyes. If we had physical eyes, and we do with you, um, we would cry out of joy, and we often do, and we would dance out of joy, and we often do, because of all of the progress, with all of the steps forward that you have made. And it is not something that, it is something that you have gone forth. It is something that you have desired. It is something that you have actually experienced all these lifetimes that you have given yourself to experience. It is for these times. It is for this amazing time of creation. It is for this amazing time of energy moving. It is for this amazing time of the new worlds that are emerging, and we just cannot repeat this enough. So that, and we wish that you could feel, and we wish that you could experience what we already experienced, because we have done this together, and it is because of your courage that these worlds are birthing. So how, again, we would like to talk today about how to deal with fear, because we are very well aware that there is a lot of fear around. We are very well aware that at any point of the day you can be, the fear can rush through you, the fear can stop you from doing a lot of things. And it is not your fear anymore, because, dear ones, you have dealt with your fear already, but it is the mass consciousness fear. So the first thing to do is to remember that, and then take a deep breath and remember and feel the presence of your master self, and remember and feel the presence of those worlds that you are creating, and remember and feel your heart, and remember and feel your self-love. And you will be flooded with all of the goodness, with all of the love that you have not even experienced so far. So every day can be an adventure in this way, because you will learn to transform. You're learning to transform in a second, to step from one reality into the next. And this is what it means to have parallel realities. They both exist at the same time, and they are but a breath away, and they are but a step away. So remember and feel and love yourself, dear ones. Love yourself every hour, every minute of the day. Now, with being able to manifest all of this, we have been working on the ability to feel and to experience your feminine side. We have been working on this for quite a while, and you've become very proficient at this. You are able to allow your divine feminine, you are able to feel her. You have brought the energy of her, you have brought her presence into the world. And as you know, this is what is stirring everything up. This is what is cleansing everything. It's your ability to allow the feminine presence. Now the next stage is to remember and to feel and to bring in your masculine presence. It is that time, dear ones, because the masculine is what creates. The masculine is what brings these new energies. The masculine is what actually makes it real in your physical world. So at times, some of you do wonder why my creation's not manifesting in my daily life, and it has to do with the masculine, because there was so much work to be done with bringing the feminine, with creating that balance, that at times now we forget that we also have a masculine side. And what we're talking about is the divine masculine, is the healed masculine, is the masculine that is not wounded anymore. Now, how to feel that? You are all very familiar with the human wounded side, and it's easy to forget also that the human masculine and the divine masculine, it is just the lack of words. The reason why we're using these words is just because of lack of words that we could use. We're not intending to say that the human wounded side is not as divine. It is as divine, it is equal, it is as beautiful as the so-called divine masculine. It's just excuse the lack of words, but we are referring to the divine as your master self, not meaning that it is more godly. We know that you understand what you mean, what we mean. So we will continue to refer to your master self's masculine as the divine, just to make that clarification, because you will be able to feel the difference as you feel the two. You will be able to get clarity with this. You will be able to make a distinction. You will be able to know when you are feeling, when you are working, when you are thinking out of your human self, and when you are feeling the presence of your master self, because they are quite distinct and they do feel quite different. And you will, how you can imagine, if you are not feeling already the presence of your divine self, is how would the healed masculine feel? How does he feel? How does that beautiful presence feel? How does the divine father feel? How does it feel when everything is all right, when there are no wounds, where everything is is like inventive, where everything is possible, where everything is, it feels like the most beautiful father that you could possibly imagine. This is the energy of the divine masculine that we ask you to start to focus on and to start to feel, because this is what will create, will manifest your desires, will manifest your wishes into your world. And when you feel the divine feminine, her role is to allow this divine masculine to come in, to allow him to dance, to allow him to create the worlds, to allow him to create through her, to allow him to bring all of the energies of creation. And you will find, as this is your task, is to only allow and to feel this. You don't actually have to do anything. Your human mind does not have to do anything. Your human mind does not have to resolve anything. Your human mind only needs to step aside so that there is space where these energies are allowed to come in. And then these energies will know what to do. These energies will go and create your worlds straight away. And you will see that all of your wishes will actually start manifesting this year. And but only if you start to allow these energies to come through. Now, Alex would like to say, mention here, she has been having beautiful experiences with all of this, because when she was allowing all of the masculine feeling and allowing the masculine to come in, her cooking has become quite amazing, and her enjoyment of her cooking has become even more amazing. So we're sort of inserting this just to say that it is your little everyday things that do change with these energies. You know, sometimes it is easy to forget, and it is easy to think that it is only the big events in the world that will actually demonstrate to you that you are bringing this kind of changes in. But it is not correct. It starts with all your little daily things, for example, like cooking, like eating, because when the eating becomes a feast of senses, when you can feel your eternal self, your master self, your masculine self, your feminine self, all these different parts to come and eat with you, to experience it with you, to sense with you, to taste with you. It feels like all these thousands of faces that are tasting, that are taking that bite and are tasting with you, each experiencing this bite in their own unique way, and you can feel it, and you can feel each one experiencing, having their own unique experience. When it all happens in a millisecond, so everything that you do becomes this kind of joy, this kind of feast of all these thousands and thousands of parts of you experiencing with you, and you can start to feel the distinction between all of them, and you can, and there is no contradiction, because each one is unique, each one is you, each one is experiencing their own thing, each one is contributing to the whole, and each one an equal member of yourself is delighting with you in this experience of a single bite. And it is very difficult to explain something like this, but it is very easy to experience when you're open, when you're allowing, when your masculine and your feminine are dancing in the moment. And this is what we mean when we say that it is your mundane daily activities that change. It is your mundane daily things that you normally as a human self take for granted that change, that expand in a way that you can't even imagine at the moment, as you bring forth, as you bring to the table your master self, your eternal self. So this is where, remember that this is where the change happens. It is in your everyday mundane activities that you take for granted. So there is no need for any of you to think in terms that, okay, I have to go out and be somebody in the traditional sense. It is up to each and every one of you to transform your everyday experiences into this feast of senses, into this feast of experiences. And this is what creates the new worlds, and this is what creates the new dimensions. Because remember, the new dimensions are also filled with the mundane experiences, except that mundane experiences are no longer mundane, but are real, are physical, and at the same time, they dance with the eternal. They dance with every possibility there is out there, and you can experience that in the now moment. So allow yourself to have more and more of this kind of experiences, and you will see nothing will be boring anymore. And this is what we would like you to sort of concentrate during this year, because it is the year where the manifestation starts, and it is the year where you will see your um, tangible proofs, tangible changes that happen through the small things of your day, well, things that you consider small. And they will happen as you change each and every mundane experience into this feast of senses. And you will wake up and you will look forward to your day, because you will never know, because you never know when you can be doing something very, very simple. You can be doing something simple, something that you do every day, and all of a sudden your world will explode into this myriad and myriad and myriad of experiences of thousands of you experiencing this everyday thing with you, and it will not feel everyday and like an everyday occurrence, like an everyday simple thing anymore, because it transforms into a beauty, it transforms into deliciousness, it transforms into a satisfaction, it transforms into a joy of life. And this is what life was and is meant to be. And it is for those that are free, it is for those that have reached for freedom, it is for those that have created freedom, and it is for those that are manifesting this freedom in their everyday life through everyday mundane experiences. Now, there is another thing that we would like to touch upon, that we feel will become more and more important to you in this year, and it is your wild self. It is the part of you that already is free. It is the part of you that very often you can perceive and you can experience through, and through the wildlife, through wild animals. And we would like to ask you to start calling upon that part of you. We would like to ask you to experience and feel that part of you. What would it be like to be free in that way? What would it feel like to be completely wild? Just start imagining this and start dancing with this part of you. And this part of you will bring you the access to another level of feeling again, to another level of experiences, to another. You will be able to access dimensions, and you will be able to access parts of you that 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 the mind has tried to tame, that the mind has tried to put in boxes, that the mind has tried to cage. And it is the part of you that is in complete trust with life. It is in complete trust with the world. It is in complete confidence of itself. It is in complete acceptance and self-love of itself. And when it comes forth in your life, you will be able to create and perceive opportunities that are at first will seem to you as a little bit out of this world, and they will be, because the wild part of you is able to break through all the conventions, is able to break through the barriers, is able to break through the cages, is able to break through all of the places that you still feel stuck, because it already is free. It already experiences freedom. It already is completely happy, satisfied, confident in itself. And we would like to, if you wouldn't mind, if you would like to close your eyes at the moment, take some deep breaths and feel that wild part. Feel her. Feel how she feels. Feel her, how she's running and dancing and frolicking freely in the fields, in the forest, in the mountains. Feel how she is completely free of the past. Feel how she's completely sovereign, how she's completely allowing all her senses, how she's completely allowing this feeling of freedom, this feeling of wildness, this feeling of just being, this feeling of no worries, this feeling of everything being possible, this feeling of every moment being full of discovery. This is the feeling that you can also start bringing into your daily life, and it will add new dimensions to everything that you experience throughout the day, and it will add new experiences, and it will add new ways of being, new ways of perceiving, and it will open avenues that perhaps you have never saw before, perhaps that you have never experienced before, or you have never allowed yourself to feel before. So we would like to encourage you to feel new things. We would like to encourage you to be bold in this way. We would like to encourage you to just experience, to allow, and of course to self-love, but open the doors to new parts of yourself. Open the doors to complete openness. Open the doors to complete freedom. Open the doors to complete fearlessness, because as you do, they will manifest in your life, and as you do, they will go to work and may create many changes in your life in those parts that you still may feel stuck. You will find that as you do this and as you are used to it, that all more fears may come up, that more more emotions may come up that were stuck, but you know how to deal with them now. Just let them be. Take a few deep breaths and remember and bring in this feeling of wildness, and remember and bring in the feeling of self-love, and you will start discovering worlds. You will start discovering feelings, new feelings that you've never felt before. And as you do, remember them, and as you do, bring them forward. And as you get stuck in feeling the mass consciousness and the fears and the worries of the everyday life that your mind is used to, stop and remember those feelings that you've experienced, and take hold of them and feel them, and be absolutely determined, and be absolute. Do not allow the doubt to push away those feelings. Do not allow doubt to insert itself in between you and these feelings, because these are your new worlds. These are your new dimensions. These are the new worlds that you are creating. And as you start feeling all these unknown feelings, feelings that you've never had before, remember, this is the new energy. It is the new part of yourself that is birthing. And the more you feel, and the more you allow, and the more you are determined not to let anything stand in your way, the more quickly your manifestations will happen. And if you're going through the day and you are feeling a little bit without energy, or maybe you're feeling the mass consciousness, again, stop, feel, stop, breathe, remember, bring in these worlds, allow them to manifest. Allow your masculine self, the divine masculine self, to manifest, to work with you on creating these new dimensions, and the new worlds are being birthed. So this is the message from us for this time. And now we would just like to love you. We would like to spend this time just to be with you, to stroke you, to dance with you, just to love you as you've never been loved before, love you as you've never allowed yourself to love yourself before. And we would like to remind you that you are loved unconditionally. You are loved for eternity. And we would like to encourage you to feel this love every day, to as you wake up, feel it, remember it, because it is quite imperative that you do this, because these new worlds that you are creating are being birthed depending on your feelings, depending on how you experience yourself, depending on how you experience life. So remember always, every day, to love yourself. Remember to love. Remember to be joyful. Remember to laugh. Remember to have humor. And remember to feel all of these new experiences that you will feel, that you are allowing, because remember, you are the creator, and the creator is responsible for the worlds that they are creating. And the love that you feel for yourself is infusing, is creating new worlds. And those worlds will be saturated with love. And that only depends on how you feel. It depends on your feelings. And that's why we are encouraging you to feel love, to feel the thrill of life, to feel your wildness, to feel unbound by anything. Because then these worlds that you are creating will have those components in them, will have those parts in them, and they will go to work and they will create new things for you to experience, and this is what then you will experience. And we also encourage you to just be easygoing, to frolic, to dance with life, because the times of heaviness has been and gone, dear ones. The time of heaviness, it is time to step out of those energies. It is time to let those energies be. Time of this kind of heavy responsibility that you felt. You have done everything, dear one. You have done nothing wrong. You have done everything that was right. You have walked through all of the scary places. You have done your work, dear ones. So now this year, it is the time to just take it lightly, to remember the lightness of being, to remember the joy, to remember the self-love, and to remember what you are here for, to remember that you are creator, and to remember that you are the creator of the new worlds, you are the creator of the new realities, and the best of all, you are the experiencer of the new realities as well. So we encourage you and we remind you again to remember all these things throughout your day, to transform, to change all of that heaviness that has been with you for quite a while, that has been with you through the awakening, because so much had to be released, so much had to be cleared. But now, dear ones, it is time to dance. It is time to experience all the delights that this world does offer. And remember to refocus, to keep refocusing. Sometimes it will take minute by minute refocusing. Sometimes it will take hour by hour. But as soon as you find yourself in any negativity, refocus. Just allow it to be. There is nothing you need to change. You just allow it to be. But you refocus and focus on the new, focus on the self-love, focus on the wildness of being, and dance and do what is necessary to step out of the mass consciousness, to step out of the old feelings, to step out of any negativity. And as we said, there is nothing you need to change. You don't have to fight it. You don't have to battle with it. You don't have to change it. You can just allow it to be, but you don't need to dance with it. You can just step out. And this is what we mean by no more processing. There is no more processing of emotions. We just let them be. We just let them go. We let them run through you. And then you step out into the new. You step out into your new creations. You step out into the new world. Excuse me. Time for coffee. Okay. So when we're dealing with so many changes that happen, there are happening and happening and will continue to happen. And as we're dealing with the intensities, as everyone has noticed, the intensity has doubled, tripled, or even more. We have to keep remembering that on the outside, we may, and as we are determined to be in our freedom, to feel our freedom, to be in our wildness. Now, this way of being, as you know, does not always fit with the human consciousness, with the way the world is created. And this is where at times conflict can happen, because the world is created for people. For people who are followers, the world is created for people who are in prison. The world is created for those who follow the voice of fear. So again, we would like to point out and remind you that, you know, the selfishness, the healthy selfishness is a very good thing, and it will be even more important for you this year. And as you are creating and manifesting and bringing forth this new world, it is very important that you deal with selfishness, because we feel that at times you still can feel that you should not be allowed to feel good when you see so much bad in the world, when you see so much suffering, when you feel so much suffering, because your heart is so open. So we would like to remind you that the importance of selfishness, and to befriend it, and to be okay with it. And even if maybe at times other people may comment on it, may say to you that you are selfish. You may have experiences where you know, some people leave you because they feel that you are selfish. But this healthy selfishness is going to be even more prominent this year, because as you are living in a different way, as you are living in your new world, you may become more invisible to others, but at the same time, they will not be able to not see your joy. They will not be able to not see the sparkle in your eyes. They will not be able to not notice your different priorities. They will notice your fearlessness. They will notice your self-love. And even though the energies of mass consciousness keep trying to undermine all of these feelings, and you are very determined, and this year you will become even more determined and even more uncompromising in how you choose to feel, in how you choose to navigate and navigate through all of these energies, through this world. You will stand out more and more and more. And we ask you to be comfortable, to become, if you're not already, to become comfortable with this. We ask you to become even more self-determined and even more uncompromising in this, because you are creating, you are a creator that is creating the new world. And this is one of the things that may try to stop you from, you may try to fit in, you may try not to stand out, you may try to stand back. But this year is the time for you to step out. It is the time for you to become visible in this way. It is the time for you to really be a standard. And it's not even something that you're going to go out and say, okay, I want to be this standard, I want to stand out. It is just that by the nature of what's happening, it will happen, because other people, when they're so steeped into their own suffering, they will see you. They will see your lightness of being. They will see your joyful life. So they might comment. They might say you are selfish, but it is very important for you to know and to stand up for yourself in this way. That no, you are uncompromising in how you feel. You are uncompromising in how you choose to be. You are uncompromising in how you choose to do your day, and you are uncompromising in feeling fearless. And we are just reminding you to be okay with that, to be okay with being selfish, to be okay even if other people call you that, to be okay even if other people give you strange looks. You are a creator, a manifestor walking in this world. You are a master walking in this world, and you will be noticed. And be okay with being noticed, and be okay with being uncompromising, and be okay with being selfish. Okay, so we have come to that time where we are looking to see if you have some questions for us. There's a Q&A panel on your screen where you can add some of the questions, and we're going to see. Okay, yeah, we do have some questions already. Okay, all right, so let me see. Okay, why is change so difficult for me, and how can I speed it up? I keep trying to make changes in my day, but it is no use. I repeat my past. Okay, dear one. So basically, all of today was about this. So the way to make changes in your everyday life is to respect your everyday life, to bring the feelings of honor, to bring the feelings of respect, to bring the feelings of abundance to your everyday activities. It is those feelings in themselves that will create change. So whenever you feel down, whenever you feel in doubt, whenever you feel overwhelmed by the events, whenever you feel overwhelmed by the energies that surround you in this world, you do need to choose, you do need to step, to make that decision and step into your being of lightness, your self-love, your being of wildness. You need to start feeling those despite anything that is happening. And at times it may feel like you're having to constantly do this until it becomes a habit, until this kind of feelings are your natural way of being. You will need to keep doing it. You will need to keep reminding yourself. You will need to, sometimes every minute you have to remind yourself, but you have to become uncompromising. So when you notice that you have those feelings of doubt, when you notice that you have those feelings of, okay, nothing's changing in my life, stop, take a deep breath, and step into your feelings of wildness, step into your self-love. And again, maybe sometimes 1 minute later you get those kind of feelings of, nothing is changing in my life. Why? Whatever the story that your mind keeps repeating it to you, you have to stop. You have to let it go. You have to step into your self-love, and you just do it day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, and before you know it, this will be your normal way of being. The lightness of being will be your normal way of being. Dear one, there is no other way to do this, dear, because you are the creator. You are stepping into your mastery. You are the one who need to make that change in your life. And all you need is to step from one way of being into another. You can follow up with physical actions, and physical actions are what you already know how to do. Is how do you honor yourself? Maybe you take a bath, maybe you go for a walk, you do something beautiful. It can also just be a stroking yourself. It can also just be just something simple as changing your hair. Whatever makes you feel good in your day, you can do those and incorporate them in your day, and don't allow any excuses to step in your way. Don't allow the busyness of life to overtake you. Don't allow the other people's priorities to stop you from loving yourself, from honoring yourself, from doing beautiful things with yourself. And it is only you that can say no to these things. It is only you that can step from one reality into the other, because both already exist. The new worlds, dear one, are here. The new worlds are right here. They're not somewhere in the future. They're not somewhere out there. And the only way that you will bring that change in your everyday life is to continue to step into the new world, which is here, and to not give in, and to not entertain, and do not keep replaying those old stories in your head. And that's what will actually create change in your life, in everyday life, in mundane things. And it will also create changes in your bigger world, and it will help others you know, other people in your life, because they might start, actually maybe initially they will be upset with your selfishness, but they will see that it's working. They will see the joy and how you're changing your life by just simply feeling and being a different person. And they will start asking you, how do you do this? How can you help me? Can you give me advice? How have you done this? And this is how you create the change. And it is in many ways effortless, because it is different to how it used to be. One moment, please, some more coffee. It is different to how it used to be, because you don't need to go. You can if you want to, if that gives you joy, but you don't need to go and protest. You don't need to be writing, you know, getting into battles in your social media. You don't need to do any of those things. You just need to be in your self-love. You just need to be in your wildness of being. And this is what makes the biggest change in your world. Thank you, dear one. Okay, so we got the next question. Okay, so here we are. I often have times when I just can't stop thinking and worrying. It is a daily trap. What would you recommend for me? And thank you. Okay, so dear one, it's a very similar answer to what we've just given to the previous person. Um, when you find yourself that you are worrying, when you find yourself that your mind has overtaken your minute, your day, when the mind has overtaken your, has stolen your now moment, has pulled you out of your now moment, you need to be uncompromising and say no to your mind and step into the self-love and step into the now moment and step into, and don't allow yourself to be pulled out of the now moment. And how you can do this, like we said before, you touch yourself, you stroke yourself, you take deep breaths, you look at something. For some people, what works well is when they can engross themselves maybe in a beautiful scene, in a beautiful picture. Look at the beautiful flower and just be with that flower. Come to this, back to this moment. And when you find yourself, you're worrying again, you find yourself in your mind, you find yourself thinking about tomorrow, worrying about your past, thinking about your past. Again, all you have to do is don't beat yourself up. Just step in your self-love. Just step into the now. Just step into this present. And that being in the present opens the door to your master self, to your eternal self, to be with you. And you will, the experience of that is you will feel peace, you will feel everything opening up, you will feel your body melting into the now moment as you allow that moment to be with you, to be you, and you allow yourself to be in that moment, because it is in that moment, dear one, is where we are. In that moment, dear one, is where your eternal self resides. And it is only in that moment, in the now moment, that the eternal self can work with you, can give you the feelings of peace, can give you the feelings of honor, can give you the feelings of self-love. And it is in that now moment that does not contain any fear, dear one. But it depends on you, on your determination to step out of the worry, to step out of perceive what you perceive as problems, to step out of stress into the now moment. And you can do that at any place. You can do that at work, you can do that while you're walking the streets in town, you can do that while you're with family, you can do that while you're looking after your children, because that now moment is with you at all times. All you need to do is to notice it, to come to it, to be with it, to dance with it, and the whole world, all of the worlds are open to you in the now moment. Thank you, and thank you, dear one. Okay, let's see. I think that's all the questions that we have had. Yes, that's right. So we would like to thank everyone for being with us. And we would like to thank everyone for dancing with us in this way. And we hope to see you next month. And we will talk with you then. And greetings and thank you. And enjoy yourself, dear ones. We love you so. Bye bye.